The Utah Olympic Oval certainly lived up to billing as the world's fastest ice, a world record on the opening day of the new season of the ISU Speed Skating World Cup. What more lies in store? Well, we can only guess. There is the program for today's day 2 of World Cup number 1, 500 meters number 1, and the 1500 meters as well. Hi everybody, Gavin Day, excited to be on board for another speed skating season as the countdown continues in earnest towards February and the Olympic Games in Italy. There is a look at Jordan Stolz coming into the arena. Seems like he is back at full fitness, winning the 1,000 meters yesterday. And there is the defending Olympic champion in the women's 500 meters, Erin Jackson. Beatrice Lamarche, a pleasant surprise for the Canadians last night, picking up one of 2 of their silver medals. Jutta Leerdam getting warmed up, winning the women's 1,000 meters. So lots to come from Salt Lake City. And we will get things going in just a few moments. It is going to be the 500 meters up first for women, and then men, and then 1,500 meters in that same order. So back with you in just a few moments. We'll be ready to go racing pretty soon. Stay with us. A look at the ice that hosted the 2002 Winter Olympics, and I would imagine, unless there's any big dramatic changes, it will also host speed skating for the 2034 Winter Olympic Games, which will be coming back to Utah. Crowd filing in to what is really a multi-sport venue. You saw the curling rinks there. You saw the branding for the new hockey team, the new NHL team there. But today, it's all about skating fast. There are our pairs. There will be in the women's 500 meters, 10 in all, so we will zip through them pretty quickly. Just looking at pair number 4, 2 people who were on the podium yesterday, Leerdam and Lamarche. But then also you look at the likes of Erin Jackson, Kaya Jomek-Nogal, Femke Kok, and on and on and on. And so lots to watch for as these skaters chase times, they chase medals. They also are chasing Olympic qualifying berths. And I think Patrick Keenis explained it yesterday. You're not trying to qualify for yourself. You're trying to qualify quota berths for your team. And we'll just get right into heat number 1. Kurumi Inagawa from Obihiro up on Hokkaido, the northern island of Japan. And she's up against the great Kim Min-sun. Plenty of World Cup hardware to her name. Seeing how she might begin her season. And the opening at 500 meters, of course, there are 2 this weekend. And we'll get the first time check at 100 meters, and just 0.08 of a second separating the two. 10.53 for Inagawa, 10.61 for Kim. One crossover, one more time around the corner, and then it's the dash to the finish. Of course, the 500 meters very much a blink of an eye kind of race, and it is Kim coming up the inside. The 26-year-old from Seoul will take the first provisional lead position, 37.58. Lap time just ticking in under 27 seconds. Since we are always on world record watch in Salt Lake City, Lee Sung-hwa, 36.36 is her world record. That was set back almost tomorrow. Makes 12 years to the day since Lee set that world record of a 36.36. And just looking at her splits, it was a 10.09 and then a 26.2 lap time. There's Lee Na-yoon, youngster on this Korean program, really looking to be a regular in the A division this season. And for the home crowd, Krista Rands-Evans, 29-year-old out of Denora, Pennsylvania. Lee was 11th yesterday in the 1,000. Rands-Evans opted to go through the B division. He came 25th in the B, but there are just some true out-and-out sprinters. The 1,000 is just kind of a bit too far. You look at the likes of Erin Jackson, I think she's said the 1,000 is just a bit too far for her. She likes that condensed power, that condensed race. But right now, Lee Na-yoon guiding things around the corner. She is in the lead, drops both the arms, and will drive to the line. She will go fastest to 37.34, jumping ahead of her teammate by just about a quarter of a second. Rands-Evans, 38.44. And so the results, the lead changes coming fast and furious here now. Always love those slow motion shots, just getting the facial expressions going around the corner. And Serena Perger out of Trento, up in northern Italy, will certainly be feeling the home cooking there. And Vanessa Herzog, back for another season, the Innsbruck native. A couple of years there where she was a regular on the podium, still trying to find that little bit to push her back over the top. Cleanly away, still haven't seen a false start just yet. And it will be Perger with the fastest opener we've seen so far, 10.48. 10.70 for Herzog. Perger and Herzog both raced in the B division in the 1,000 yesterday. Perger a 21st, Herzog a 14th. This really is, though, her forte event here, coming in, trying to close that gap, and it will be Perger, from the looks of things, who is going to take the pair. And she will go fastest by 0.05 of a second, 37.29, 37.94 for Herzog. Let's just see here, 37.29 for Perger. That is a new personal best by tune of a couple tenths of a second. So you see the smile on her face, and you always have to think, smile, fast ice, it's got to be a PB, and sure enough it is. Nice win for her, second of the day already. Lee Na-yoon threw up a personal best of her own. Actually tied her personal best. Now, Jutta Leerdam looking in very good form, dispelling any Wonders of her form coming in, picking up the 1,000 yesterday. Beatrice Lamarche also on the podium.
Go to the start.
Now the 27-year-old Lamarche has spoken with someone with the Canadian program, just sort of saying, so who might be one to watch? And she went, Lamarche is having a bit of a breakthrough, maybe a bit too far back for a podium. And then sure enough, race number 1 yesterday, she does that. And so I said, hey, that's some solid analysis. And it is Lamarche who's closed right up. This one is just about side by side. Leerdam is just going to pull this one out a little bit and go fastest, 37.18 for Jutta Leerdam. That is just a couple hundredths of a second off her own personal best. So that was a very even pair. And so Leerdam, Perguer, Lamarche goes to third with a 37.30. And that knocked out a couple tenths of a second from her own personal best too. Lamarche had a 37.91 coming in. Lamarche yesterday knocked off a couple of seconds out of her 1,000-meter personal best. Sophie Varmuth up for Germany, and Angel Dahlmann be on the outer lane for the Netherlands.
Go to the start.
Sort of answering the question, Dahlmann, of course, the 2-discipline star, does short track as well as long, did not do the opening World Tour events in Montreal. And here she is in Salt Lake City. So I guess answering the question, which one is she focusing on? Opting to go for the Netherlands long track team. And Varmuth, fastest opener we've seen so far, but as we saw just in that last race, Leerdam really put together a solid lap. Once she got up to speed, Dahlmann coming up the inside. Varmuth is still holding on. And it is going to be 100th of a second separating them, but both of them 5th and 6th respectively. 37.43 for Varmuth, just hanging on, and 37.44 for Dahlmann. So talking about Dahlmann, I imagine she will be going to Calgary next weekend instead of joining her short track colleagues in Gdansk in Poland as the short track world tour begins its sprint to the finish. Coming up next weekend in Poland, the following weekend in Dordrecht in the Netherlands. Look how close that one is, 100th of a second separating the two. Sometimes they do adjust the times as well. But Varmuth in 5th, Dahlmann in 6th. Both of them throwing up some personal bests. Next up, Tian Rining of China, 7th in the B division in the 1,000 yesterday. And she's up against Angelika Wojcik.
Go to the start.
Wojcik really a tried and true 500-meter specialist. So much comes down to that opening 100 meters. And both of them in the green, both Tian and Wojcik by a couple tenths of a second. 10.45, 10.47, the lap now. And they just carry this speed over. We know Leerdam started slowly, but she got up to speed and really threw down a solid lap time. They're coming down stride by stride. Inside the final few meters, it's Wojcik, it's Tian, and who takes it? It is Wojcik at 37.34. She slipped to 4th. Tian Ning, 6th with a 37.41. So still Leerdam hanging on for the moment, but some of the big heavy hitters are still to come. So there is Jutta Leerdam, and she'll watch Wojcik 37.34 in 4th, Tian Ning 37.41 in 6th. Yukino Yoshida, Japanese national champion a couple weeks ago. They held those national championships in Nagano. And Martina Baran out of Poland.
To the start.
Baran making the jump up to the A division. A lot of her stuff before was skating in the B, so we don't often get good looks at these skaters. Of course, we do not broadcast the B division. So good chance for Baran here to show her stuff and try to get some of those qualifying quotient formula points for her team. Both of them in the green through the first 100 meters. As I mentioned, Yoshina, Japanese national champion. They just do one 500-meter race at those national championships. A lot of them they do two, but she will take the pair. Yoshida by 0.3 of a second, not just the pair. She will go fastest, a 36.88. And I'm going to say that's also a personal best, and indeed 37.46 was her previous personal best. Now it's 36.88, and another half a second. I mean, in 500-meter speed skating, that's an eternity. We're half a second away from Lee Sung-hwa's world record. We only have 3 more pairs to go. Anna Boersma, we just got a quick look at her out of the Netherlands. And it's Marit Flederis.
Go to the start.
Out of St. Nicolaska, which is right near that oval, the famous oval in Heerenveen. And the whistle, that's the armband of who was spotted moving.
First outrain, no skipper.
There's just a little movement there. At the Dutch trials, Flederis was second to Femke Kok. She threw down a 37.41. That was a new personal best. But it's Boersma early. That's the fastest opening 100 we've seen so far. 0.06 of a second. So it's an all-Dutch battle coming up here, coming down the stretch. 2 more pairs to go after this one. It's Boersma still in front. Flederis, though, up the inside. Another very evenly matched pair. It is Flederis, who I think is eking this one out, and she will go to third. 37.20, new personal best for her. And a Boersma with a 37.27, also personal best. Of course, a lot of their training is done in Heerenveen at the sea level ice, and you come to Salt Lake, and especially as younger skaters, we are used to seeing a whole lot of those PB graphics going up on our screens. Another even pair between the two. But our leader, Yukino Yoshida. 2 pairs still to come. If there's anyone who can beat them, both of these women can. Femke Koch. And Kaya Ziomek-Nogal. Both of them have the ability to finish atop the standings. There's Koch yesterday, finishing in second to her teammate. Ziomek-Nogal sat this out as the 500 meters really is her specialty. Both of them in the green, both of them very quick openings. 10.27 for Koch, 10.31 for Ziomek-Nogal. It was Koch last year who missed a chunk of the year with a viral infection, came back and did not skip a beat. She's looking for a little bit of revenge on her teammate. It is going to be Femke Koch taking the pair and moving atop the leaderboard by 0.4 of a second. 36.48. That also is 12 hundredths of a second off the world record. It was a great race by a great skater. Let's see what can be done with 1 pair to go. Femke Koch is used to winning, and she just has to wait 1 more pair, but pretty daunting force stands in her way. Solid day for Dutch sprinters, 1:4.56 right now. And so on the inner lane, Kristina Silaeva of Kazakhstan. And then on the outer lane, the great American champion.
Move to the start.
She is going to have to throw down a new personal best if she wants to beat Femke Koch. The 33-year-old from Ocala, Florida. Not the quickest of openings. Silaeva, 10.54. Jackson, a 10.41. See what kind of a draft Jackson gets down the stretch. She goes right onto the inner lane quickly, so didn't seem to get much of a draft there. She emerges in front, though. She gets that wind tunnel of noise to bring her to the line. Femke Koch leads. Will Jackson challenge? No, she won't, but she will go second. A 36.87, 37.50 for Kristina Silaeva. So Erin Jackson will pick up a silver medal. And that will be by just 100th of a second. And that was very close to her own personal best. 700ths of a second off it. But she gets that all-important 100th of a second rather to pick up that silver medal and relegate Yukino Yoshida to bronze. But the win today going to that woman right there, Femke Koch of the Netherlands. A whole season of statements to be made ahead of February, and she's just made the first one in the women's 500 meters. Silver to Jackson. Bronze to Yukino Yoshida. Kaja Ziomek-Nogal of Poland was 4th, and Jutta Leerdam hanging on for 5th place.
Nooit gedacht dat het zo snel zou gaan.
Wat lijkt er meer op, hè?
Ja,
27 had je.
oké.
Ja, jij geeft 31.
There are your results. And so Koch with a pretty wide margin over second and third, who are very, very close, all the way through the top 10 there. Number of good results. Wojcik, I think they went to the thousandth of a second because, yeah, Lee Na-yun, they were tied to the 10th of a second. They had to go to the 1,000th to confirm it. Of course, the oval that's being built in Milan, certainly not at elevation like this venue is. So once the World Cup tour moves over to Europe, a couple of low-level ices, that might be a different indication of who is primed for that kind of surface, that kind of elevation. Time U.S. coach Ryan Shimabukuro. He's had some pretty good skaters come through that program over the years. There might be a whole cohort of U.S. skaters who going in for one final swan song. Brittany Bowe in her final season. Erin Jackson. I always wonder who might skate off into the sunset after the Olympics. I know Kimmy Getz, another U.S. skater coming back from surgery, still looking to make that push to the Olympics. Here's the start list for the men's 500 meters. Lots to look for here as well. Laurent Dubreuil. And a few skaters in the 30-plus category. Yenning DeBow with his own teammate Sebastien Is. And at pair number 8, Cooper McLeod, the man who beat Jordan Stolz at the U.S. trials. That breakthrough might he make? But it is, there's the man right there. Out to show that perhaps only pneumonia can bring him down. Leave. Benamars. As well. Pair number 1. Tetsuya Shinama. Who can get onto the podium in this distance. He can and he has. And Piotr Michalski of Poland. Shinama is such a strong skater. A couple of years ago, he was part of a Japanese sweep in the 500 meters in Obihiro. He was 5th, though, a couple of weeks ago at the Japanese trials. 9.52. Just apropos of nothing. That is below the opening 100 meters by the current world record standards. Shinama so often just has to keep that speed going around the corner. He does. And it's going to be close, but it will be. Shinama taking it 34.37. 34.46 for Michalski, who really closed it up. Looking at Pavel Kulishnikov's world record in the 500 meters. 33.61. His opening 100 that year, that was back in 2019, was 9.67. It actually wasn't a very quick opening in the grand scheme of things. He was behind in his pair, but it was his lap time that really pushed him over the line to that world record. So 33.61. I imagine we might see a lot of 100-meter opening times that would be faster than 9.67. Number 2, Koo Kyung-min. And Yuta Hirose. And the youngsters in this Japanese program. Hirose actually making his senior debut this weekend. Just up from the juniors at those Japanese trials that I just mentioned. He beat Tatsuro Shinama and came 4th in the 500 meters. And a 9.63 opening for him. Making a pretty decent draft down the back stretch. Koo Kyung-min, another young skater. They are stride for stride, side by side. I think Koo has it just a little bit. He'll take the pair. Go fastest, the 34.06. 34.24 for Yuta Hirose. And so, yeah, as you can imagine, 2 personal bests. 2 young skaters really just getting their first time out on this fastest ice in the world. And so yeah, two PBs on the board. And so Martin Leaf, one time the only Estonian on the World Cup circuit. Got a few teammates with him this year. There's Gauting Yu veteran.
Go to the start. Ready.
Not only Chinese veteran skater, defending Olympic champion, of course, as well. Bronze in Pyeongchang in the 500 meters in 2018, gold in Beijing, and the fastest opener as well. Both he and Leave in the green compared to our current leader. Let's see what kind of lap time these guys have. Gao coming up the inside, getting around. Going a bit wide, didn't impede in any way, just keeping an eye. 33.61 is the world record. He goes 33.93. So Gao Tingyu goes fastest by 13 hundredths of a second. His personal best is 33.83. So not quite his personal best, but you know, I'm still watching that world record time. We can blame Timothy Lubino for that, just going out and breaking the 5,000 meter world record yesterday. Now there's almost that expectation that another one could fall today. And I choose this one because it's been around for, you know, more than 6 years. And there is Laurent Dubreuil. He did not do the Canadian trials a couple weeks ago in Calgary. And Joep Venemars.
Go to the start. Ready.
Venemars yesterday, perhaps his preferred distance, of course, the world champion in the 1,000 meters was 9th. Dubreuil was 14th. Opening 100 meters, Dubreuil off by a couple hundredths of a second, a 9.56, 9.85 for Venemars. Dubreuil gonna bring this one around. Of course, an Olympic medalist in this distance as well. Where will Dubreuil go? He'll go third, a 34.09, 34.33 for Joep Venemars. And so 16 hundredths of a second off the pace, and Gao Tingyu survives the first challenge. Dubreuil, his father was a speed skater. He now balancing speed skating and parenting duties as well. That is our current leader and defending Olympic champion. Heat number 5, Wataru Morishige. He is the Japanese 500 meter champion. Up against Stefan Westenbroek.
Go to the start. Ready.
And start. Westenbroek does have a 6th place at a World Championships. That was back in 2024. Really is a 500 meter specialist in this Dutch program, and both of them off by a couple hundredths of a second. Morishige 9.62, Westenbroek 9.53. And Westenbroek's going to have that crossover into the inner lane. Time to beat still a 33.93. Oh, and Westenbroek is down. on, grabbing the back of his head too. You heard just that grate of the skates. A 33.94. Morishige goes second by 1/100th of a second. And for a moment, there was just I wonder what he was reacting to, and then the clap of the hands. He likes that one. Does Morishige. Now we hope Westenbrook is okay. He's up on his skates. It's a new personal best for Morishige. Unfortunate for the man from Oman in the Netherlands, but Morishige by 1/100th of a second. He's opting to see that as a positive, and there is almost a sped up look at the crash. I just worry. There was just the. Let's watch the head. There's just a snap of the head. It's not good for the neck. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to get that looked at. Hope he'll be okay. Hope he'll come back. But yeah, he hit that at speed. Now into the second half of our men's 500 meters. And there are the standings. Gao Qingyu, Wataru, Morishige, and Ku Kyunmin. So yeah, that was an interesting. My first thought was almost a "what do you mean" reaction, and then he claps the hands, and then he's happy. Maybe he just was waiting to see the time come up. But new personal best for him, 33.94. That knocked a mere 5/100ths of a second off that, and I guess they're checking to see how everybody's doing. Yeah, they'll obviously fix that track up. And now, the next pair. Not only is it first and second from the 1,000 meters yesterday, it's also Jordan Stolz' race. Let us now see what else can he do. We already know he is making the record book of speed skating an autobiography. There is Damian Zurek, 34.07 personal best, and Stolz' personal best is 33.69, a mere 0.08 of a second off that world record. Now,
Go to the start.
and you wait the door.
Ready.
And there's a false start. I believe, I'm gonna say Zurek. Wait for the flag. Yeah, there it is. The white flag. And Damian Zurek. Just adds to the tension now, doesn't it? And you see it pretty clearly there. So Stolz was beaten by two teammates, obviously, at the U.S. National Trials. Cooper McLeod, Zach Stoppelmore. He then went on to win the 1,000 and the 1,500, but
Go to
he's
the
proven
start.
one thing. He rises to the biggest of moments.
Ready.
It felt like an eternity waiting for that gun this time. Let's check that first 100-meter split. A 9.57 for Stolz, 9.73 for Zurek. Not the fastest we've seen, but we do know one thing is Stoles knows how to skate into a race. Not sure how much of a draft he got there. Remember, world record 33.61. Zurich is keeping this one close. It's stride for stride between these two. It's Stoles and it's Zurich, and who takes it? It's Stoles. 33.87. 33.90 for Demian Zurich. Wow. What a lap by Zurich. So it's a new personal best for Jordan Stoles. Actually, no, it's not. Pardon me. .33.88 is his official time. 33.69 is still his personal best, but it's Zurich. First time ever for him under 34 seconds. He goes 33.9. And so Gao relegated into second. Here's a look at the new Canadian national 500-meter champion, Cedric Brunet. A whole lot of Olympics tied to his family. And there is Zach Stoppelmore. And then who beats Stoles in the 500 at the U.S. trials.
Go to the start. Ready.
Oh, as Stoppelmore stumbles off the gun. And he tried to get up again and fell again. Unfortunate for him. Now it's just Brunet off on his own. His father competed in the 1998 Nagano Olympics in ice dancing. His aunt is Jen Heil, a decorated Canadian mogul skier. And so high performance sports runs in this man's blood. He was a spectator at the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver. Now he's eyeing his first Olympic Games. Cedric Brunet will take the pair, and he will go 10th fastest to 34.37.
Skater still on the track. Skater still on the track.
And Stoppelmore is still going. That warning, he heard the announcement because some of the Dutch skaters, the next pair, were getting lined up to race. And we, of course, did not want
Skaters,
disaster.
2-minute ice repair. 2-minute ice repair.
And they're going to fix that ice. We'll get a look here. Just everything went pear-shaped there. His push-off almost stumbled, then he towed in, and then he toes in again. And all the more motivation to come back stronger for Zach Stoppelmore. Unfortunate for him, but I'm sure if you asked him, he would trade heartbreak
Left.
in this event if it meant putting in a memorable race for a medal in February in Milan. So there is Stoles. 0.02 of a second for Zurich. Great race by Demian Zurich. What form is he to start the season? We're ready to go, an all Dutch pair. Sebastiniz, 2020 Youth Olympic Games participant, and on the outside lane, Yenning de Beau.
Go to the
He's just
start.
been going toe to toe with Stoles. It's a false start, and I think that will be DeBow. There it is, the red flag. Just indicates the armband color there. Who will be credited with the false start.
False start, outer lane. Go to the start.
Time they are away cleanly. Good start by Deniz. The man from Eibergen, which is in closer to the German border in the eastern part of the Netherlands. 9.65 his opening 100 time. 9.80 for DeBow. Deniz, of course, who now lives and trains in Heerenveen. His advantage is gone. It's DeBow who has come to the fore on the front foot now, bringing it to the line. He will go 8th, a 34.23, and Deniz a 34.67, so 8th and 14th for those two. DeBow, who was bronze yesterday in the 1,000, won't be making a return trip just yet. Hand down there, maybe some lost speed. So 2 pairs to go. Is almost without saying our leader, but the next pair has someone who's beaten him this season. There's Bjorn Magnusson. He's a guy who did some training with the Polish side. And there's Cooper McLeod, originally from Mount Vernon, Washington. But Magnusson,
Go to the start.
we'll talk about his adjustments in just a second. So Magnusson, he trained with the Polish side in Innsel in Germany. One thing he noticed last season is some of the best skaters got a lot lower than he did, and that is what he has been working on. And it's just a couple hundredths of a second off the fastest, not the fastest time, our leader's time right now. McLeod up the inside, picked up a medal on World Cup last season. This one is another very even pair. It's Magnusson on the outer in red, McLeod in blue on the inner. Here comes Magnusson to take it. He'll go 5th by just 11 hundredths of a second, a 33.99. And so he likes that. Bjorn Magnusson knocking off couple tenths of a second of his personal best, his first ever time under 34 seconds. His previous one coming in was 34.28. So that's a great result. Magnusson, who was 9th in the B division yesterday, but looking for a very solid top 10 place. One pair still to go, and on the inner lane, well, one Dutch outlet has called him a sprint phenom. A 22-year-old Evgeny Koshkin, a couple of World Cup gold last season. Marek Kania, 12th yesterday in the 1,000 meters, but Koshkin, watch for his start. Felt like a very long hold. You gonna give a false start to that one? I guess so.
False start,
just waiting for him to get stable, and he was not. And so, take 2. This time they are away cleanly. And I mentioned just the hockey background of Yevgeny Koshkin. Picking up speed skating at 14, and he has the fastest opening 100 at 9.46. As I mentioned, 2 wins in 500 meters on World Cup last season. He won in Poland, and then he won in Heerenveen. To make one of the rare people to beat Jordan Stolz within the last few years. But here comes Kanye. He's going to make it close. He might even take the pair. And he will. 34.38, a 34.42 for Koshkin. So the start was good. The lap was not as he had hoped. And so, oh so casually, another World Cup win for Jordan Stolz. A very, very good silver medal for Damian Zurek. Just a few hundredths of a second off of Jordan Stolz' pace. And all the way from pair number 3, Gao Tingyu picks up the bronze for China. Yes, 3rd. So it is back-to-back silver medals, 2 days, 2 silvers for Damian Zurek. So in the worlds of Yenning DeBow and Jordan Stolz and all these other skaters who top the podium, Zurek, I wouldn't say he's unheralded, but he's quietly going about his business. A couple silver medals in 2 days, and there are your results. 5/100ths of a second separate the podium, and a further 100th of a second for Wataru Morishige in 4th. And as I mentioned, a very good 5th place for Bjorn Magnusson. It was Jeremy Weatherspoon that told me he expects him to have a strong start to the season. 37, and sure enough, that was pretty apt assessment. And so the ice resurfacers will come out. The break is about to begin. And I believe you will get the podium presentations for the 500 meters, pardon me. On the other side, we will have the 1500 meters. Since there is a break in the action, might be a little bit delayed here because there were those ice repairs. But next up will be the women's 1500 meters. So enjoy the break, everyone. Back with you on the other side.
Skating, and Brad Wilson, CEO of Utah 2034 Olympic Organizing Committee, to present the flowers. And in third place, the bronze medal representing Japan, Yukino Yoshida. In second place, representing the United States of America, Aaron Jackson. First place, gold medalist for the 500-meter women's, representing the Netherlands, Femke Kok.
Getting close.
Your ISU speed skating 500-meter medalist. Congratulations. Congratulations on behalf of the Utah Olympic Oval, on behalf of the state of Utah. This is a beautiful setting for the upcoming Calgary Winter. representing China, Ting Yu Gao.
Congratulations, Sun Tzu. Yeah, good day. Awesome.
In second place, your silver medalist representing Thailand, Damien Sudek.
Wait.
Thank you.
Another good start to
Yes, thank you very much.
First place, and gold medalist in the 500-meter men's champion for the United States of America, Jordan Stoltz.
Thank you. Yeah, it's close. Thank you.
The ISU men's speed skating 500-meter winners.
Start list for the women's 1500 meters. I always point out, if you talk to most skaters, and most of them will say this is the most painful of all. It is not quite a distance race where you can settle in and find a tempo, but it's not a sprint. And you'll see that mix of distance and sprinters. There is Francesca Lollobrigida. And Martina Sablikova, who won bronze in this distance all the way back at the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver. heat number 1, Zofia Braun of Poland and Han Mei. And so youth and experience on offer in this pairing, and Brown's case, I believe this is her first race in A division. She did do some B World Cups last season. Han Mei has been on the circuit for a few years now. And so in Brown's case, she is one of those skaters who also will step up and do the 3,000 meters, and so there's a bit more of that endurance. You'll see that difference in the skaters where someone might have more of that sprint pedigree. They'll go off quickly and then just fight for their dear lives to hang on. Whereas a distance skater will sort of skate more into it. It is Han Mei in front at the moment. She is comfortably leading this pair. Born in Hohhot in China, now out of Beijing. Lap time there for Braun. Han Mei is going to get that benefit of the inside line. You see the big speed difference coming down the stretch. Han is holding on to her speed very well. Her own personal best is a 1:52.72. It is just going to pass her by, I believe, but not by much. And she will go fastest. And Zofia Braun, her personal best coming in was a 1:59.56, and yeah, the first time on the world's fastest ice, she gets it down by a solid margin in this 1500. So that will be our first time to beat in the women's 1500, but expect that to change. Of course, if you've watched speed skating, you know the pace should pick up as we go along. It should be noted, Femke Kok is only doing the 500 and the thousands this weekend, so she won't be in the 500 meters. There's Isabel Van Elst.
Go to the start.
Belgium, and she's up against Momoka Horikawa of Japan.
Ready.
Horikawa, another one of these skaters you'll see do the 3,000, the 5,000, the mass start, and so 1,500 meters almost is just as she's getting started. But you can't be too complacent, of course. Just backpedal and say, oh yeah, I've got that endurance, and then you lose the speed going by. And Elst, the Dutch-born skater competing for Belgium. But of course, no indoor ovals in Belgium, and like a lot of skaters based out of the Netherlands. What's interesting is that so many skaters are based in Heerenveen, skating out of Tialf, but then Erfurt in Germany hosts so many national speed skating championships. I think of the likes of France hosting there and a number of other countries. We go where the indoor ovals are now. And it's Van Elst out in front right now. And she comfortably in front of this pairing. Keeping an eye on her own personal best. It's a 1:55.32. The personal best of these two skaters is a mere 1/10 of a second. But look at that lap time. Horikawa a little bit faster. And this might be that distance pedigree coming to the fore. She She gets to chase down Van Elst a little bit, just trying to hang on. Van Elst does have that inner lane. And it will be Isabel Van Elst coming up to the finish line and will take the pair. Just getting over, just seeing that time slip by. Horikawa closed up late, but yeah, Van Elst likes that, a 154.22, over a second down on her personal best, and so reason to celebrate, of course. Not top of the leaderboard, but she'll take that one to the bank. And now, how's this for a pair? One of the all-time greats of the sport. Martina Sablikova, 38 years old, and the reigning 5,000 meter world champion, Francesca Lollobrigida.
Go to the start.
Cleanly away, and so interesting to see Sablikova doing the 1500 meters. Her real strength in the distance events is that her lap times stay so consistent. There's not a lot of deviation, and so consistency will be great, but you also have to be fast to the 1500. That's why this is such a challenging event, and of course Lollobrigida, the 5,000 meter world champion. The early splits, it's Sablikova out in front. As they cross over, it is Lollobrigida now coming back in through 700 meters. Almost identical lap times, 9/100ths of a second separating them. Lollobrigida a bit behind right now, but that distance experience, she knows how to skate into a race. Yesterday, Lollobrigida just off the podium in 4th in the 3,000 meters. Sablikova was 6th. It's Sablikova who will get the bell in front. Look at that lap time, 29.24. That's about half a second Sablikova took out of Lollobrigida. Such a difficult race to go, because if you do go out too quickly, the last couple hundred meters are absolute agony. And on the inner lane, it is Lollobrigida coming through, looking like she might take the pair, but where will she finish? And she'll go fastest by 100th of a second. Wow, look at that last lap time, 29.81, dipping under 30 seconds. And so Lollobrigida, 153.89. Good enough for top spot right now. Sablikova to 4th. So for the moment, by just 100th of a second, it's Francesca Lollobrigida on top. There is Ayano Sato of Japan. And she'll be up against Nikola Zdralahova, also of Czechia. Coming back last season after not being on the circuit a ton. But it is Sato coming in back in 2022 in Beijing, coming in 4th in the women's 1500 meters. And that must just leave such a bad taste in the mouth. You have to wait 4 years to see if you can try to beat it. Well, the waiting is almost over. And both of the skaters in the green early. Zdralahova in front. But Sato knows how to skate this distance. She also does mass start 3,000s, 1,000s, so very versatile skater is Ayano Sato. At the moment, Nicola Zdralahova out in front. Both of them still putting in green splits. 28.13 lap time for Sato, 27.75 for Zdralahova. How that closed up. Sato still not quite side by side. They are very close. You look at the speed check though, and Sato may be going that little bit faster. Is she skating into it? Is Zdralahova just fading a little bit? Zdralahova will have that a bit of that draft down the backstretch. You see her tucking out in the outer lane before getting right in to that inner lane. And yeah, she will still lead the pair, but it is certainly close. Zdralahova going to take the pair, and will she go atop the leaderboard? Yes, emphatically, by 3/4 of a second. 153.12, 153.49 for Sato, so 1 and 2. Good skate for Zdralahova. 153.12, that is a new personal best to the tune of over 3/10 of a second. Good skate for her. Just gonna point out it is the great Miho Takagi who we'll see in the next pair, who has the world record, a 149.83. So we're a couple of seconds off of that one. So there is a look at Takagi. First look at Li Jiaxuan. Skater we would have seen before, but the one on the outer lane, we've seen her many, many, many times before. One of the all-time great skaters, Takagi. Takagi, 36 World Cup wins. That's the most ever by a Japanese speed skater, men or women. Overall, winning the 1500 and the 1000 meters last season. It was at Worlds where she faltered to a 4th place in the 1500. Admitted afterwards that she needed a bit of a break, mentally and physically. She also skipped the 1000 meters yesterday, opting to focus on this race. So Takagi going for Olympics number 4. Started in 2010, skipped 2014 or missed 2014. She is 7/100ths of a second now, 27.68. Big difference in those lap times. Li Jiaxuan just trying to keep it close, perhaps throw down a personal best. And you don't even need to ask, the 149.83 Takagi world record was, yes, set in this oval. I believe the only one of the traditional disciplines is the 10,000 meters set in Calgary at the bell by almost 9/10 of a second. So Takagi well out in front. Big question is, she's in pair number 5. She'll go over the top on the crossover. How long will this last? Plenty of skaters still to come, plenty of big skaters to come. You'll have to look at the next pair, Ragnar Wiklund coming up. it will be Takagi, I would imagine, going to the top of the leaderboard. Her time will be 1:52.45, so lost a little bit of time on that last lap. Lee closed up quite a bit on that final lap, knocking out more than 0.6 of a second, and so Takagi just getting her season going. Just such an exhausting race, isn't it? And so she is atop the leaderboard, and here comes the challenger, Beatrice Lamarche. She will be going up against Ragnar Wiklund, the 25-year-old from Oslo.
Go to the start. Ready.
So on the inner lane, Lamarche might be one of those skaters who goes out quickly and just tries to hang on. She won her first career Canadian National Championships not too long ago, and those came in the 500 and the 1,000. Of course, Wiklund, we know, world class in the distance events, and so we'll just see the shifts in format. So yeah, there is a quick start for Lamarche, up by 0.2 of a second. Wiklund half a second behind. I imagine we'll watch the morning glory, so to speak, of perhaps the more sprint-oriented skater and then the distance skater coming into her ascendancy. Wiklund has world championship medals in this distance. She was 7th at the Worlds in Hamar on home ice last season. And Lamarche, as I mentioned, that's one that the Canadian team looking to put together some breakthrough results, and she's already done that this weekend. And so mission accomplished. Let's see how else she can go. And it's Wiklund now really closing up into it. 1 lap to go. Lamarche fighting bravely to hang on, still under 30 seconds on that lap time. Interesting crossover coming up. It will be Wiklund going over the top. We'll see how that affects things. Lamarche just wants to keep her on the horizon. Here comes Wiklund. Is she going to challenge? And then some. 1:51.97. Wiklund goes atop the leaderboard. 30.17 the last lap. Just liking that one. And I'll say half a second on the nose off her personal best. Coming in, it was a 1:52.47. And so Ragnar Wiklund knocks off Miho Takagi, knocks off her personal best, and moves atop the leaderboard. Takagi, certainly that last lap was a challenge for her. And Wiklund just skating into this distance. I always love the coaches' reactions. Wiklund loves it too. So there's your leaderboard. Wiklund, Takagi, Zdralahova. 4 pairs to go. Next up, we'll have Greta Myers of the United States and Angel Dahlman back for more.
Go to the start.
The skaters know each other pretty well, having competed at the junior level as well as at the senior level. Myers famously last season picking up a mass start gold medal on World Cup. Incredible race. Part of some of the new format or tactics that we're seeing in mass start, where she went on the attack and just kept going and invited, daring the field to come and catch her, and they never did. It was a great race for her, hanging on, scrapping. I think it was the same weekend that Timothy Lubino won in a similar format. But anyway, the native of Lino Lakes, Minnesota, 21 years old, against Angel Dahlman, talking about her looking like the focus these days is on the long track, but it also gives me to promo next weekend. Gdansk, Poland. The ISU Short Track World Tour sprints to the finish. Stop number 3 in Poland, and then stop number 4 in Dordrecht in the Netherlands. Right now focusing on this race. It's Dahlman out in front. Lap time 29.17, 29.40 for Myers. And this is where the pain can just set in. The lactic can just take over the legs. Dahlman will go over the top on the crossover, keeping both hands behind her back on that back stretch. Just saving that little bit of energy. Into the inner lane. One hand going as she drives to the line. It is Weekland leading right now, and Weekland shall remain atop the leaderboard at 1:53.08. For Dahlman, 1.12 off the pace. Myers a 1:54.97. And Myers, I do know, that's a new personal best for her, down from 1:53.13. So, let me just confirm, yeah, 1:55.13. And so, knocking a couple tenths off that personal best. Dahlman a 1:53.08. That's off her personal best. She's gone in the 1:52s. And Antoinette Reitma-de-Jong, European all-round champion. Joy Bune, two of the best in this one.
Ready.
Oh, there was a false start. Thought I might have seen a little shimmy in the outer lane. We'll see if they confirm. Yep, there's the red flag. So it is Bune. Don't often see false starts in the 1500, but just a little bit there. Just that's all it takes.
Power start. Power start out train. No steam. Go to the start. Ready.
And when I say they're two of the best in this distance, I'm not being dramatic. It's Bune, the world champion, and Reitma-de-Jong, the world silver medalist in this distance. And so, what a pair. Dutch teammates, used to seeing each other, I'm sure. And through the opening 300 meters, it will be Reitma-de-Jong, who started on the inner lane. She's a quarter of a second faster than the time set by Ragna Weekland. But as we know, it's faster than Weekland, but only 6th overall, because Weekland skated into the race using that distance prowess to her advantage. Remember that European Championships where Reitma-de-Jong defended her overall title. It was by the narrowest of margins. on Weekland's time. Let's see, when does Buna close it up? She's on the inner lane now. Pardon me, she is on the outer lane. There's that crossover down the back stretch. Very even race. Look at that. By a matter of hundredths of a second. So if you're looking in the bottom right corner, that is a live split. And so it is Joy Buna really putting the pedal to the metal now. Live split is half a second advantage right now. And she will drive it to the line. She keeps adding. Reitma de Jong also going faster than Weekland, but Joy Buna will go faster by almost a whole second. 1:51.05, 9/10 of a second faster than Weekland. Reitma de Jong a quarter of a second faster. And so Buna with a new personal best. Previously it was 1:51.72. Her and Reitma de Jong actually had an identical personal best coming in. So 1:51.05, 1:51.71. Reitma de Jong knocking out a hundredth of a second from her previous personal best. And it is a Dutch 1-2 atop the leaderboard right now. But the next pair could make it all three. It is Marijke Groenewold. Imagine we'll see her in the mass start as well. And then on the outer lane, another one of the all-time greats, final season, and Brittany Bowe.
Go to the start.
Bowe has not perished the thought that she's doing a farewell season. She won the U.S. National Championships at this distance not too long ago. Just a couple of weeks, actually. So Bowe of the absolute best. There is one thing that has eluded her. It is an Olympic gold medal. She's got sprint world championships, single distances championships. What a story this would be. She's in front right now. But Groenewold 6th at the world championships at the Viking Spit in Hamar, Norway at the end of last season. Right now, Bowe is in the green by 35 hundredths of a second. Groenewold off the pace for the moment. Let's watch that live split in the bottom right corner. Remember, Buna put up a ferocious charge late. And Bowe's lead disappearing bit by bit. At the bell, she's a little bit in the red, behind by a quarter of a second. How much time can she hang on to? Second place right now, Antoinette Reitma de Jong is 66 hundredths of a second, and so Bowe is within shot right now of perhaps second place. And it all comes down to this last lap when the lactic, when the pain is at its highest. Here comes Brittany Bowe. She will go fifth, 1:52.46. It's that last lap time, 30.56. Groenewold slips to 17th. And so, yeah, we'll take it. It's just the start of the season, and Bowe knows that better than anybody else. One pair remaining. A good skate by Brittany Bowe. 37 years old, 5th place. And see who she is just behind by 1/100th of a second at Miho Takagi. And so they're enjoying this season to be sure, but there is some unfinished business. One more pair to go. Another skater who very long career as well, Ivany Blondin, 25-year-old out of Ottawa. And it is Melissa Waifia on the outer lane.
Go to the start. Ready.
Blondin almost never stops skating. She's done the mixed relay, she's done the mass start, she's done team pursuit, she's done team sprint. Just one of those skaters who is so very versatile. Of course, a member of that Canadian team pursuit gold medal side, who has all three members returning. Isabel Weideman, Valerie Malte, and identical opening times for those two, 26:17. Waifia was 5th in this distance at the Dutch trials, but when you're skating this distance at the Dutch trials, it's almost a World Cup in and of itself. The winner was Groenewold. It was Reitma de Jong, Bune, Dahlman, and Waifia. That's how they get those 5 spots here on World Cup. 1/10 of a second separating the two with 800 meters to go. Is Waifia in front at the moment, but Blondin chasing her down a little bit. Very even. Strides or pace is about the same. They will come to get the belt. Still Waifia in front. She will have that benefit of being on the inner lane. 8/10 of a second off the pace. Remember, she is chasing her teammate, Joy Bune. Antoinette Reitma de Jong and Ragnar Wikland are the podium for the moment. And it looks like Waifia really skating into this one in front as they enter the final turn. She also has the inner lane. And Bune's time is just about to go by, and Waifia will go 4th, a 1:52.27. Blondin 1:53.56 for 11th. So a good finish for Melissa Waifia, going to 4th, bumping Miho Takagi to 5th, Brittany Bowe to 6th, but it is Dutch 1, 2, and 4. The top two skaters on the podium from the World Championships last year are top 2 to start the year here in Salt Lake City. Ragnar Wikland getting up for 3rd. So a good podium result for her. Waifia, good race from her. Not the quickest of starts, skated into it, finishing 4th. Reitma de Jong, another silver to Joy Bune. Ragnar Wikland on the podium for the first time this weekend. And then there are the results by almost 7/10 of a second. Joy Bune, I'll call that a statement. Picking it by a wide margin. Actually, pardon me, I was talking about Ragnar Wikland. She was 3rd yesterday, so 2nd time on the podium this weekend. So a 2nd bronze medal for her. Bit of a debrief for silver and bronze on the podium. Comparing notes. So, how did he beat Joy Bune, maybe? Bune, a 2nd gold medal of the weekend after winning the 3000 yesterday. So we will get right into the men's 1500 meters coming up in a couple of minutes. There are your start lists. Interesting one there. Number 3, Sander Eitrem, Peter Kongshaug going together in the same pair. Kimberly Sook, Connor Howe, another interesting one. And then look at that pair, number 9. Jordan Stolz and the reigning current world record holder, Kjeld Nice. Is a look at Eitrem. So the whistle. No time to draw breath. Here we go in the men's 1500 meters. Pair number 1, Taiyo Nonomura. Going up against... Let's just see here. Pardon me. There we go. Matthias Voste. I believe, yeah, he's a late addition. They initially had the draw last night, and Voste was not in it, but here he is now. There is Nonomura. Safely off the line. Voste actually started in short track, originally from Bruges. Made the switch to speed skating at the age of 20. And so that would have been in 2014. The elder skaters. Voste, I believe we'll see him in mass start as well. At the moment, it is Nonomura, 23.51. Opening 300 meters. Nonomura, one of many skaters from up on Hokkaido. Just the presence of that venue in Obihiro. Of course, most tourists to Japan go to Tokyo or Kyoto, but up north, Hokkaido, they have that speed skating oval outside of Sapporo. And just so many Japanese speed skaters now coming out of the island. Nagano, of course, the other main oval. We've seen them skating in Hachinoe City as well, but Obihiro has become almost the heart of Japanese speed skating. 1 lap to go. They're even opening pair, about a quarter of a second separating them. Nonomura leading things by about a quarter of a second. Nonomura was 24th at the World Championships last year, out of 24 skaters in the distance. Right in front of him was a Belgian skater, Indra Meda, who is not in this pair, obviously. But Nonomura will go 1:42.93. That knocks about 0.7 of a second off his personal best. So he wins by almost 0.9 of a second. Nice for him. So, number 2. Motonaga Arito. Didrik Engstrand from Norway.
Go to the start. Ready.
Strond is an interesting one. Young skater. Skated a lot of B division last season. And certainly angles towards the distances, but the World Championships, he jumped up and got a 7th place on home ice. So certainly one to watch. Norway, that great history with long distance events. And it is Strond with the early advantage. In the green by 7/100ths of a second, and I was just talking about how he prefers those bigger distances, and now will he just keep adding to that lead? He's got junior World Cup medals in this distance. Silver in his day. Staying in still just 5/100ths of a second. Very even lap time, 2/100ths of a second separating them, and Strond will see, gritting his teeth, the pain really setting in, but he does get that nice draft. And there's that mental benefit of, oh, I got the inner lane. I'll be in front coming around, and he will be bringing this one to the line. We'll see if he goes fastest by, yes, by 1/100th of a second. 1:42.92, and that celebration, I think you know what that means. That's a personal best, and that's a personal best by 2.5 seconds. 1:42.92, his previous personal best, 1:45.47, and so you come to Salt Lake and you get to just knock a chunk out of your personal best time. And then it's an all Norwegian battle. Eitrem will start on the inner, and the reigning world champion in the distance, Petter Kongshaug, will start on the outer.
Go to the start. Red.
These guys went toe-to-toe at the European Championships, which is an all-round format in earlier this year in 2025, back in January. It was Eitrem who was, the way I remember it, he was behind a little bit, but then coming into the final distance, which is the 10,000 meters, really his bread and butter, he put in a time that got him ahead of his teammate, and so Kongshaug was second, and so it was the Norwegian 1-2 at those European Championships, which, as I mentioned, was an all-round format in Heerenveen back in January. And it's Kongshaug out to the early lead by 0.6 of a second. We'll see if Eitrem closes that back up as the longer this race goes. This looks so smooth right now. One lap to go, and Kongshaug is just hitting this one out of the park right now. Over a second's advantage, lap time 27.75. We'll see what kind of last lap gas Sander Eitrem has, but at the moment, the world champion is on course for a very, very good result. Yesterday, Eitrem bronze in the 5,000, and Kongshaug by more than a second and a half. Eitrem will close up but their last lap time's almost identical. Itrem will go to 4th, but Kongshaug has just thrown down the gauntlet here. 1:42.25 was his personal best coming in. And yeah, he's just smashed that, a 1:41.34. And so 1, 2, and 4, Norway at the moment. Taiyo Nonomura, one skater not out of Norway up there. And so 4th pair, Daniele Di Stefano going up against Kazuya Yamada.
Go to the start.
Daniele Di Stefano, who's had World Cup success in the mass start. One of the Italian skaters yesterday in the 5,000 meters. Check that first split. Yamada, quick opening, 0.04 of a second. That's an interesting crossover. He'll go over the top. Di Stefano, originally out of Rome, go into the outer lane. It is Yamada now dipping into the red by 1/100th of a second. Yamada, who was 14th at the World Championships in this distance. Di Stefano was 10th. So we'll see. He'll come back into it. Check this last lap time. They're right up side by side. Di Stefano by about 0.4 of a second was quicker that last lap. And so we'll see if this is changing fortunes in this race. Di Stefano will go into the outer lane, but he's grabbed this pair for the moment by the scruff of the neck. Yamada, though, using that inner lane to claw his way back into it. He's putting on a last dash to the line, really upping the tempo on his turnover, and he'll go second. 1:42.25, 1:42.74, so they go second and third. And let's see, they're both new personal bests as well. Yamada at 1:42.25. That brings it down by about 1.5 seconds. It was 1:43.81 coming in. Di Stefano 1:42.74. That was also way, way faster than his previous personal best of 1:43.99. So just huge chunks of time being carved out. And in a race like this where the legs are screaming and you're sucking for air, having that extra glide, being at altitude, certainly helps their cases there. And so second and third right now, Kotaro Kasahara. We really not have seen much of these young skaters. Ning Zhongyan is a man we've certainly seen before.
Go to the start.
Ning will be an interesting one. Sprint all-around world champion in 2024. He did win this distance at the Asian Winter Games in Harbin. That would have been in February. So compared to some of the other skaters that we've seen, this one will tip more towards the quick start and then trying to hang on for dear life. And yeah, by half a second, he is in the green. Ning, fourth at the World Championships in this distance. He's about a quarter of a second behind Peter Kungshaug. And yeah, he's now padded his lead by 0.6 of a second. Ning was fourth yesterday in the 1,000, put up a new personal best, and Kasahara a second off the pace. And now let's just see. This is where things might to tip. The quick start will turn to trying to hang on. There's the bell, and he has about 0.4 of a second advantage. Kasahara not really a factor in this pair. And so Ning put up a new personal best in the 1,000 yesterday. His personal best coming in is a 1:41.38. The time to beat still belonging to Peter Kungshaug, a 1:41.34. Ning Zhongyan will bring it to the line, and he will go fastest. 1:41.02 by 0.3 of a second. And so he puts up a new personal best. Good enough to move him atop the leaderboard. Love that moment. And so he pulls one over on the world champion. Tijmen Snell on the inner lane out of the Netherlands. And certainly the guy who caught my eye yesterday, Finn Sonnekalb of Germany. Programs has been looking for someone who can bring in the results, and certainly an interesting one. Sonnekalb, the World Junior 1,500 meter champion, the World Junior 1,000 meter world champion. Hasn't seen much action at the top level on World Cup, had Sonnekalb, and what caught my eye yesterday is he comes into the 1,000 meters and puts up a very creditable fourth place. He finished right behind Ning by 1/100th of a second. So we'll see what the impetuousness of youth brings to this one. 700 meters, it is Sonnekalb, but he's off by about 0.4 of a second. Just looking at the fastest times right now. 1:41.02 is Ning Zhongyan. The world record, again, 1:40.07, held by Kjeld Nice. We're going to see him in a couple pairs from now. But Sonnekalb, a half second off the pace. Currently, as I mentioned, held by Ning, and yeah, tricky crossover. And Snell doing well to give way. It will be Sonnekalb. Just a mute scream, the mouth wide open. The legs are doing the screaming for him. He goes up to second by 0.3 of a second. Loves that one, because he is 1/100th of a second ahead of the world champion. This guy making a name for himself on the opening weekend of the season. Second for the moment 1/100th of a second ahead of Petter Kongshaug's time. So this young man, not at all afraid by his more seasoned opponents. It's a tricky moment. You have to wonder what might that crossover have cost them, where they're both trying to navigate their way through. But hey, now second place right now with 4 pairs to go, but some very seasoned skaters still to come. There is Wesley Dice and David Larue. So Dice, a skater who's been around the block once or twice. Same with Larue.
Go to the start. Ready.
Dice was 4th in this distance at those Dutch trials over the Halloween weekend. Nice won it. Then Tim Prins, then Joep Wennemars, and then Wesley Dice. I think I'm in top 5 in the Netherlands. Yeah, I'll say you're pretty good. Larue is going to lead through 300 meters. A couple tenths of a second off the pace. Larue 16th at the World Championships back in March in this distance. Keep a note, Kjeld Nice, Jordan Stolz to come in pair number 9. And a very even pairing, about 11/100ths of a second separating these two. Dice pulling in front. He'll get the bell first, but by just 5/100ths of a second. But he is really skating into this one, picking up a faster lap than Larue that time. Larue will have the benefit of the inner lane. And amid fading legs, he will try to close that gap. It's Dice still in front, but not for long. Here comes David Larue. They will go to 7th and 9th, respectively. Larue, 1:42.93. He likes that because that just knocked out another second and a half. Coach Munsef Uardi liking that one. Larue coming in, it was 1:44.37. And he now goes 1:42.93. Of course, Quebec now has that indoor oval in Quebec City. It's hosted a World Cup and now almost creating a couple of training bases for that Canadian program. Calgary, the hub for so long. They also do have an indoor oval in Fort St. John in Northeast BC. Now here is Kim Min-suk of Hungary, and a World Championship bronze medalist from last season, Connor Howe.
Go to the start. Ready.
Howe, out of Regina, Saskatchewan. If you don't know your Canadian geography, it's smack dab in the middle. It's produced some pretty good speed skaters over the years. Olympic gold medalists, I think, namely Katrina LeMay-Doan. So Look at the likes of Lucas Mikowski, part of the gold medal team pursuit side from 2010 for Canada. But he is trailing right now is Connor Howe, Kim Min-suk. That switch from Korea to Hungary. And he is leading the pair right now. 2 laps to go. Look at those lap times, 25 even for Kim, 25.7 for Howe. Looking at Ning's time, he was 23 through the first split, 24.25. There's a 25.99 for Kim. Howe is really off the pace. He's at the 27 range. Let's watch Kim Min-suk now. Gritting his teeth, driving the arm. Inside 100 meters to go. Kim Min-suk will win the pair, dropping a second arm, and he will go 5th with a 142.67. Howe a 145.71, 16th for the Canadian. And so Kim Min-suk, 142.54 was his personal best coming in. And just confirming it won't quite beat it, very close to it, however. Now down to the final few pairs. And oh, doctor, do we have one here. Kjeld Nice, world record holder. You see that personal best, 140.17. And Jordan Stolz, already 2 gold medals this weekend. It became the norm for him to win 3. First man to win 3 World Championship gold medals. And then he did it a following year.
Go to the start. Ready.
141.02, the current time to beat, held by Ning Zhongyan. Kjeld Nice's world record of 141.7 has been in place since March of 2019. So through 300 meters, Stolz a 23.21, Nice a 23.45. But Stolz, when so many skaters fade, heading into the last lap, last corner, he somehow finds that shift. You have the feeling that if he ever wanted to do 5,000s or 10,000s, he could focus himself on that and win those too. Nice, the faster of the first full laps, 24.42. And he will get a very good draft, tucking onto the inner lane. Nice was 6th at the World Championships. Stolz, who is recovering essentially from pneumonia, won the silver medal. Both of them in the green. Is this Nice's day to beat the American skater? But watch him drop the arms. Here comes Jordan Stolz. He gets right close, and he finds that shift round the corner. Stolz will get the fans to bring him home. Here comes Jordan Stolz. Will he beat the time to beat? Yes, he will, a 144.8. And Nice will slip to 5th. But Jordan Stolz, he just finds that last lap, doesn't he? And he'll end about 31/100ths of a second off the world record. But he makes it look so easy for yet another gold medal, doesn't he? Perhaps getting ahead of myself, there's still one pair to go, but We're just so used to seeing this, aren't we? So Kelnice thought he might have had it. I think it's been that position before where he has him going into the last corner. Is that Shawnee Davis? Might be. And one final pair. Tim Prince. And the inner lane going up against Venemars.
Go to the start. Ready.
Right armband, outer lane, mute
Hold
Venemars.
start, outer lane. No stable position.
There you go.
Go to the start. Ready.
Cleanly away this time. Prinz yesterday in the 1,000 meter, picking up a 6th place. The man from Jura, which is in Friesland, right near the oval in Herrenveen. And both of them in the green, but both of these guys certainly might be more of the fast starter trying to hang on variety, and yeah, confirmed. That actually was Shawnee Davis, so trust my own ability to recognize skaters. This ice just churning out personal bests, national records. And so these guys ahead of Stoles right now, but remember that last lap, particularly that last 200 meters, it was on that back stretch where Stoles just did a couple of heavy strides, dropping the arms before putting one arm behind the back for the final corner. And both of them now ticking closer. Prinz hanging on by 0.07 of a second. You see that live split. Now he's in the red. This is where Stoles did his shift and just gobbled up huge chunks of time. And just poured it on late. And so both of these guys trying to hang on for perhaps a podium finish. Side by side, very close to the line. Venemars and Prinz by 0.02 of a second, separating each other. 142.34, 142.36. 7th and 8th places respectively, but ho-hum, Jordan Stoles is back, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's all but confirmed this weekend. Perished the thought that pneumonia that he got at some point last season would stick around, showing that when he is healthy, it is going to take some beating to beat Jordan Stoles. And it's a medal, I believe. Let me just confirm. Yeah, Finn Sonnekalb, a first senior level World Cup medal. And I think Fridtjof Petzold got up for a mass start medal last year. Trying to think when the last time a German skater was up for one of the traditional individual distances. But he is making a claim to be one of the ones to watch in this Olympic season. I think he was sitting there just trying to process what had happened. Finn Sonnekalb, one to watch. Jordan Stoles, of course, one to watch. Sonicalb. Is this the beginnings of a memorable tale? We'll see Jordan Stolz again getting another medal, another gift. Are they checking his passport? Sonicalb, 18. He does not turn 19 until March 3rd. So remember that name. But of course, yeah, remember that name. It's almost at this point where the world is chasing Jordan Stolz. And so Joy Buna there, we'll see getting a medal. Ning Zhangyan congratulating Jordan Stolz. Half a second separating those two, 54 hundredths. So settle in. I'll just take one last breather as they give the medals, and then I will bid my farewells for the day.
In third place, the bronze medalist representing Norway, Ragne Vikland. Second place, in silver medalist representing the Netherlands, Antoinette Rikpejitong.
Congratulations.
First place, gold medalist in the women's 1500 meters, representing the Netherlands, Joy Buna.
Congratulations.
USU speed skating women's 1500 meter winners. 1500. The medal presenter will be Nick Thomas, Technical Committee Chairman. Presenting the gifts will be Kathleen Nichols, United States Speed Skating VIP. Finishing in third, and now a new junior world record holder. Representing Germany, Finn Snotakalb.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome race.
Thank you.
Thank you. Junior world record.
Yeah.
Finishing in second, representing China with the silver medal, Hondurani.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Awesome
Thank
race.
you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
First place, and gold medalist in the men's 1500, representing the United States of America, Jordan Stoltz.
I've been pretty lucky to get to give you a medal.
Yeah, I know, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
A round of applause for the men's 1500 meter champion.
There you go. Second world record in as many days. This one going to Finn Snotakalb. The junior world record for the 1500 meters. But so many things to talk about after day 2 of World Cup number 1. The Stoles train keeps on going. Joy Buna back on top. And then, yeah, as I mentioned, that young man, Finn Snotakalb. A shout for the rest of the world to pay attention. That young man certainly now going to be one to watch as we inch closer to the Olympic Games in Milan Cortina. The ISU Skate to Milano will continue. One final day of competition to come. That is tomorrow before the World Cup moves to Calgary for next weekend. It will be Patrick Keenis guiding you through the day's action tomorrow. It's always a pleasure when I get to call long track as well. I'm looking forward to my next opportunity to do it. So until that happens, I'll sign off for now. My name is Gavin Day. Until next time, everyone. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.